Daddy. I'm Tiff.
I'm Althea.
And we're going to cheers, bitch. She's got to pour some shit first. And today we are going to be talking about significant women in history. Cheers, bitch. And no, I don't mean Althea.
What? How dare?
Not today.
I will be significant.
But what we're going to talk about today is what I'm going to talk about, you know, how I like to talk about people and like inspiring women. So I'm going to talk about the life and the legacy of Nelly Bly. And if you don't know who she is, you will at the end of this. And then our craft is going to be these cute little, this one's got a little janky because I didn't take as good care of it, should have, but these cute little fairy wands. So there's like a crystal on top. It's wrapped in some copper wire. There's some beads and things strapped to it. Super simple, but like really cute idea. So we have the whole spread of things, and we got our own shticks. And we're gonna.
I love it.
Just like how
I've
it is.
I've been wanting to do like wands for a long time, so I can be like
Expelliarmus. That's from
curse
Harry Potter.
I wish I knew that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I grew up Christian,
nerd.
so I wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
and then
God.
I got older and realized I wasn't a Christian, and then I didn't. And
I
watched one episode. Or one of the movies.
There's still time.
Yeah, I know.
Those are my favorite.
My time is so limited.
Oh my God. Next time we're gonna film, I'm gonna be like, just kidding, we're not filming. We're gonna watch every single Harry Potter movie that there is, because I don't even know if I can really truly be friends with you if you don't know.
You know, I would love that shit.
And the books were,
I gotta get on that.
Yeah, get all up on that. Harry Potter pony. Do you need to get all up in that?
Oh yeah.
You need to get your. So here's we got some wires.
Just find things and you use the wire to wrap it around.
So we have wire here. I have some copper wire. I have some like twill wire.
Okay.
I have some silver wire, some beads. Mostly they're just red. I'm really sorry about that. I have other colors.
I'm in the red right now, actually.
Yeah. But I have these too. I have these beads. There's like pink and purples, and there's even girls playing volleyball.
Oh my gosh.
That speaks to you. Yeah. Team mom here.
I just keep imagining you going. Power. Well, so you just wrap it in the wire.
Yeah,
and then you wrap it around.
These crystals that are in here. So if you look in here, you'll find the like little crystals that you can put on the top.
Well, I'm just worried about my skills of connecting it to the stick.
Well, you just put the wire through. These crystals have holes. You put the wire through, and then you wrap it around. Okay. And then you just start wrapping it around the...
Can I see your sample?
Yeah.
Technical stuff bothers me.
It's not technical.
Yes, it is.
You're just wrapping.
You're just already skilled in technical, okay?
You just gotta wrap it.
Wrap it up. Sloppy. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Go ahead and keep talking.
All right. Okay. I'm actually gonna need more alcohol before I start the story.
I love how you make this sound every time.
Well, it's so that you don't edit this out. All right. So Nelly Bly. All right. Who's Nelly Bly? I'm going to tell you. All right. She was born as Elizabeth Jane Cochran in Pennsylvania. And she was born into a wealthy family. Her father was a mill owner, was like the main company in the town that she grew up in. And he was also a county judge. So she started off with wealth. But then at 6 years old, her father suddenly died. And he didn't update his will. So his money and his estate went to his ex and apparently other children that he had over there.
Not even his real biological.
No,
Wait,
I
was
think
she the only biological?
No. I think that maybe he like
listening. Sorry,
I didn't dive into the dad, but he didn't update his will, so the money went to the ex and the family that he had over there. So I didn't look into the dad and what kind of a shitbag he was or not. Okay, but so Nelly's brothers, herself, and her mom did not get any money, so they ended up losing everything, and you know, it was like a financial collapse. Right, so mom, this is she was born in 1864, so we're talking like back in the day. Women don't have any rights, right? So now this woman has to try to provide for her family without the main character that's allowed to financially provide for the family, and she can't. And so they end up losing their house, and they lose everything. So the mom does end up getting remarried, but he ends up being an abusive alcoholic, which, you know, that's how that goes. And back then, you know, obviously divorce is difficult. So she realized, I need to get a divorce. The mom realized, I need to get a divorce. But the steps to take were really complicated. And Elizabeth was 14, and she testified at her mom's divorce trial, and you know, to help her get divorced, which she did end up getting. Her mom did end up getting divorced, but the trial, the circumstance, and everything happened after really left an impact on Elizabeth. So like, she starts to realize, I don't want to depend on anybody. I want to be self-reliant. I don't want to depend on anybody, especially not a man. And which is kind of wild for the time, right?
That's what I was thinking.
There's really, really rigid gender roles and social rules during this period of time. Like the job options for women are really limited. It's basically like really low-paying factory jobs and ladies of the night, essentially. But, you know, when she was 15, she was like, you know what? I want to help my mom. I'm going to try to become a school teacher. So she starts going to school to become a school teacher, and she was doing really well. However, she ran out of money. It was just too expensive, and with the way that she wanted to help her family and help support her mom to support the family, she couldn't afford to continue to be a teacher. So she dropped out because of lack of money. And she just ended up working with her mom. But she did have that desire to contribute and help her family. Like she actually wanted to be like, I'm going to help my family. So she used to read this newspaper every single day, and it was called the Pittsburgh Dispatch. And one day she read an article that was titled, "What Girls Are Good For." And in this article, it stated things like women should not be in the workforce. They should be, they should work on domestic arts and raising children. And like that struck a chord for her, right? Because like, what about the women who don't have a choice? Just like in the situation where Elizabeth is in, where her dad dies, and now her mom has lost everything, right? So now the woman has to be in the workforce in order to put food on the table. So this article just completely negates this type of situation and is only like, oh, you must be a wife and whatever else. And so she writes like a rebuttal.
Dude, I like this chick.
Yeah, she's bad.
Especially
badass.
Yeah, like especially at this time period when there's not very, very few women that actually realize how oppressed they are at that time.
Totally. They just, it's like the women who vote for Trump now. So she writes this rebuttal, basically being like, what the fuck? This is fucking stupid. What about all these other people and all these other situations? And the man that owns the paper is so impressed But she signs it a little orphan girl. So, but the guy is so impressed. He puts an ad in the paper that says, "Who are you, little orphan girl? Come over here. Come all over here." You know. Wow. And so she goes. She responds to this ad, and then he actually hires her. He's like, "Do you want to be a part? Do you want to help do this, like these articles on like I think he called it like the woman's sphere." Basically, like, you know, some woman articles, or, you know, but and so like her first assignment working for the Pittsburgh Dispatch was called the Girl Puzzle, and she went into all kinds of things. It was really cool. She started right out the gate challenging social norms at this time.
Dude, that's amazing.
Well, and so, you know, a lot of people just loved it. They loved what they were reading. They loved the surprise of what this woman was writing her articles on. The women were like, "Yes, please," and she was really getting into the weeds, like talking to people, and so she could learn people's like opinions, and not just delivering articles from the point of view of a man, right? So she made $5 a week pay, which was more than the shitty factory jobs, but it still was like the equivalent of like maybe $160, maybe $200 a week.
Like
now
nowadays.
Yeah, so it still wasn't a lot, but like obviously back then also like a lot of things were like 3 cents. So, you know.
Yeah,
but you know, she definitely pushed a lot of political, labor, and legal issues. She even got some attention from Mexico because she wrote about corruption and things that were happening in Mexico. Like it was and like the authorities there. It was pretty bold what she was doing. But they kept giving her these what they call fluff pieces, right? Like fashion and what is the best house coat that you could have, right? And she doesn't want these things, right? She's still searching for like the first few articles that she wrote, right? And so she decides that she's gonna go to New York City, and she's like, you know what? I want to go to New York City, and I want to start writing there. I want to be a journalist there. But you know, how are you gonna fund that? So she ends up proposing to her boss in Pennsylvania. I want to do a piece on how hard it is for a woman to become a journalist in New York City. And he's like, yeah, go and do it. So she basically got funded to go and actually find a job in New York City being a journalist. Don't forget, this is like 1880 at this point, right? So like this is not like yesterday where it's super easy to find a job. So she goes, and she does find it really difficult to find a job. There's not a lot of, she actually goes and interviews with a lot of people, and they're like, what are the chances of you hiring a female journalist? And a lot of people are like, none. I wouldn't. But she does find a place to work there, and she ends up moving to New York without having the job to start off with. But then she gets there, and she gets a job, and she ends up meeting New York World editor John Cockerill. And so this isn't her first assignment, but she decides that she wants to go undercover to expose the local insane asylum for how their people are being treated, and you know, how the
seriously,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I think I'm like related to her or something.
Yes,
like she's like my ancestor.
So she decides that she's going to go undercover as a patient.
Oh my god.
And her boss in New York is like, let's fucking go. And so she assumes the identity of Nelly Brown, and she has a little accent, and she goes as an immigrant from Cuba. And she like goes to this house to like stay for a little while. Like she's saying that she's kind of an immigrant, and she starts to like not sleep well. She starts to kind of rant and rave and complain. And so the people at the house that she's staying at start to be like, okay, there's something wrong with her. Well, the way that these insane asylums worked, especially for women back in the day, were basically like, if there was too much non-compliance, you went to an insane asylum. So if you were an immigrant and you couldn't speak English, they would send you to this insane asylum. If you were too sick and the family couldn't take care of you, they would send you to an insane asylum. And they would treat you like shit in these places. And so she assumes Nelly Brown. She gets herself into a court, and the judge that saw her was like, oh, you remind me of my sister, so I want to make sure that you're taken care of. And the whole time she's worried, like, am I selling this? Am I going to get into this? Because it's an island. I forget the name of it now. On Blackwell Island. But she's like, I need to be insane enough to get into this island, into this insane asylum in order to do this thing. So she's like starting from scratch, like meeting people, acting crazy. Dude. She practiced crazy stairs to like help herself like get into the groove. And then this judge is like, you remind me of my sister who passed away, and so I want to make sure that you're taken care of. And so he was trying to like take it easy on her, but she still ends up, so she goes to this place called Bellevue, and that's where they do like the overall assessment. And they decided that she was like nuts, which is crazy because she wasn't nuts. So how easy was it for them to just decide that you were fucking too loony to survive in the world, and she was just faking it. So she goes to the asylum on the island, and immediately notices the dehumanization and the threats from the staff. She notices that like the food that they're getting is sometimes it's moldy. Ew. And they mask it with like, you know, other things, but they don't get like salt or pepper or seasons on their food. They get like broth, tea, they get bread. They're hardly fed. But when they walk by like the nurses station, the nurses will have like melons and meat, and like it would make their hunger even crazier. So like she's here for like, she ends up being there for 10 days. And she writes a book. I read the book today. It's I'll tell you the name of it shortly. But so like she notices, she talks to a lot of the people there. She's trying to get their stories. She meets like a French woman who could speak English at the time, but what she had told her was basically like, I came here and I couldn't speak English, and they basically just sent me here. And she had been there for so long that she went from not being able to speak English to speaking pretty decent English. And the only reason why she was there was because she couldn't speak English. Nobody could understand her, so they sent her to this island. Yeah. And then there were other people there that were totally healthy. You know, one woman was there because she got sick and the family couldn't take care of her. And so they put her there, and she kept thinking like, well, you know, I'm better now, so like I'm sure they're going to come and get me. So she spends her time getting to know a lot of these patients, because remember, she's in there for the story, not because she's actually crazy, right? So she explains all of this in the book that she wrote, which is 10 Days in the Madhouse. And it's a short book. It's a great read, and she goes over all of it. So it's like condensed. It's like a 3-hour read, maybe 4 hours, but it goes over all of her firsthand experiences in this asylum, right? And so she talks about this German woman that, you know, her son brought her there because she was sick, and and he had financial trouble, and so she was there. But then once you're in, these people treated them like shit. They're basically like, welcome, you're never gonna get out of here. Like, and
it was basically to separate them from the world, but not to actually take care of them.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, what she's realizing is that this is how they're treating their mentally ill. But also, this is how they're treating women who aren't mentally ill, but get sent here for not being able to... It happened a lot to the immigrants. And back then, there was a lot of immigrants coming in, right? And so they're like, oh, we don't know what you're saying. We're just going to send you over here. But, like, she realized right away, like, first when she gets to, like, these patients or clients or whatever they call them, right? Their basic needs are not being met. Their foods are not salted. The food is moldy. Like, they would try to douse it with mustard and vinegar to try to offset the taste of how gross things were. And if they ate it and it was moldy and it made them sick, then the nurses would make fun of them and be like, just basically mock them. The nurses were just awful to them. It's wild. It reminded me a lot of what we read in the news right now about the ICE people, the ICE agents, and how they're treating people. It's just basically like, hey, I'm in this position of power and I don't really make enough money to give a shit. And so actually I'm just going to make fun of you and put you down. There was in one of them, there was a 70-year-old blind woman that was there, and the nurses would pull her out and then like let her walk around and then just make fun of her when she would bump into things, and she would complain like, why are you pulling me out of bed? Like
so it was like their entertainment.
Yeah. And then if they didn't want to eat the nasty food, right, then they were punished. But if they ate the food and got sick, they're made fun of. So like, there's definitely, it says here, there's definitely corruption there. Like, she noticed right away, like, there is definitely corruption here. And she constantly would ask them, like, can I have salt? Can I have butter on my bread? Can I have another piece of bread? Like, I'm just talking about the food in general. Like, because as soon as she got to the insane asylum, got in, she stopped pretending like she was crazy and she went full normal. Really? And she's just trying to be like, hey, yeah, because she wants to see, like, can you get out? Can you get out of this, right?
If you're normal, then
if you're normal,
to let you out.
Yeah. And she talks about how they made them take freezing baths once a week. And so
why?
She didn't want to, and she got there and she's like, I don't want to. And they're like, oh, you're going to do it, or we're going to do it, and it's not going to be gentle.
Dude, I would have fucking done crazy shit just to piss them off.
And then, so she was like, nope, I'm not going to do it. So they end up basically multiple people, multiple nurses and doctors or, attendees or whatever they're called, basically strip her down naked while there's other patients around. So they wouldn't even like let those people go. They put them in this freezing cold bucket type thing it's not a bucket, but it's like like a metal whatever full of water, cold water, and it's the one that everybody's been using. She said that they would use it to the point that it became sludge. Nobody got fresh water, and they basically told her like, get in or it's going to be awful for you, and she didn't want to, so they forced her in. She said that she experienced what she thought people that were drowning felt without actually drowning, because they just doused her with buckets of this cold ass water that's been used by all of these other patients for however long, and then they take her out. They give her a wet nightgown, and they put her in a cold room, and they give her a blanket that it's not even the full length of the bed or her body. Like, so she basically freezes. So, like, one of their main complaints the whole time was that it was super freezing in this place. And they didn't have basic care, right? Like basic nightgowns or basic clothing, basic, blankets. Like they did talk about in her book. She did say that like somebody died and they thought it was because of being sick from not being warm ever. And I mean, the bathwater thing was just fucking gross to me, you know? So, like, these patients are so exposed and so vulnerable. And a lot of them that do have mental illness are not in a place to even know how to ask for help or get help. And then the ones that are not there because they're insane for any reason, they're not being listened to. And she said that the cruelty was unbelievable and sadistic from the nurses that were there. She would hear them taunt and hit and choke and psychologically torture other people there. And this is coming from somebody who's in this insane asylum, totally not insane, right? So she's experiencing all of this. And one of the things that they would do is they would take the nurses would take everybody outside, and then they would make them sit on these upright benches that were straight back, and they weren't allowed to slouch. They weren't allowed to complain. They weren't allowed to adjust, or they would be like beaten or, you know, whatever else for like 8 hours. And I have a bad back.
Are you serious?
That thought like makes me
It's hard for me to sit up straight. I have to remind myself too, because it's like the core.
Not just that,
it's
like
hard to keep
if you're forced to sit in this thing, and then eventually your body is going to be tired and you want to like,
yeah.
In her book,
people slouch because it's easier.
In her book, she talks about how like she was like, well, no wonder these women are starting to go insane. Like, none of their needs are being met. None of their cries are being heard. And they have to sit outside at straight backed without complaining, without moving for 8 hours. Like, you're so uncomfortable. Like, that would make anybody crazy, you know? Like, these patients are hungry, cold, and subjected to constant abuse and humiliation. And she just realized, too, that there's a ton of women that they're not there for any justifiable medical reason, but they're still being treated like trash. Not that you should treat any mentally ill people that way, right? But like, there's no assessments being done to reevaluate if they're healthy or not. They basically should say like, I'm normal. I'm not insane. I'm sane. Test me, test my fingers, test my mind, test me. Like, I can prove to you that and they would be like, that is what somebody who's insane would say. And that's the rant and raves of an insane person. Like, they literally there was no way to get through to any of these people. It was so much mental distress, and there was no chance of convincing any of them or getting a reevaluation, you know?
That's disgusting. It's like ran by a bunch of narcissists that just get off on messing with people. Because my ex is a narcissist. He's a covert narcissist. He gets off on poking at people and watching their reactions.
Yeah, taking their rights away.
And he used to do it as a kid, and he does it to the kids. And I've like seen videos of him like the kids are upset about something, and he's sitting in the background with this little evil smile on his face, and he just lets them sit there and like attack each other, and they're not happy. They're clearly upset. Anyways, I didn't mean to take off the subject.
I like
it's just disgusting how the nurses like sit and find pleasure in watching these people. And it's not like they're crazy. It's like they probably just had some kind of emotional wound and they couldn't fix it on their own, and that's why they're there, or somebody sent them there because they didn't want to deal with them, and then they're tortured more.
Yeah, well, that's what it says. So, who was it? It was the Josephine. She was the one that moved from France and couldn't really speak that well. She said she was very sick, and so she was taken to some sort of station, and because of the language barrier, she was unclear if it was like a police station or a firehouse, but she was unable to communicate with that station. because of her language barrier. And so basically she was sent to Blackwell's Island because she was sick and they couldn't understand what she was saying. And she literally was like, I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I don't know how I'm going to get out. Like she was without hope of release, meaning that they literally believed that they were stuck there forever. Because that's what the nurses would tell them too. That was where the psychological abuse came into, right? The nurses were like, I'm a fucking piece of shit. And then obviously, right, so Nelly had something that everybody else didn't have. She had her boss's legal team backing her. Mm-hmm. So she was going to be able to get out. So she was there for 10 days.
And they didn't know that she was there?
No, they did. Her boss, 100%.
The facility.
No, the facility didn't. And like every time, so they used to have like a lot of reporters come in and like do digging and into like trying to figure out how people were. And she was so worried because she was a well-known, journalist. She was so worried that a reporter would show up and recognize her and like blow her cover. But she was able to like dodge it the whole time and whatever else.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's what I thought.
But on her 10th day in the asylum, her attorney shows up and informs the staff that he's there to pick up a New York World reporter who has been admitted under the name Nelly Brown.
So they just found out that they had been being watched the whole time?
Pretty much. Pretty much. So,
wow.
So it's like, this is presumably a mortifying and horrifying moment for the fucking administrators at the asylum.
I hope for the nurses, right? Those
fuckers. For real, right?
Be like, oh.
And she's rescued, but what's sad is that, like, she felt bad leaving. She had developed friendships with these people. I mean, given she was there for 10 days, but she was actively getting to know these people. She saw the real crazy people, and they would be, like, chained. The women were chained to each other, and there was, like, it was just the food wasn't salted. They barely got anything. The nurses were eating like queens. The people that were there were eating moldy food and getting sick and then being made fun of. They were just treating people like there was no basic needs being met, right? Mm-hmm. So there was an emotional cost of her leaving that behind and worrying that them seeing her leave would cause them distress or almost false hope even, I think, right? Mm-hmm. But she definitely writes her articles and is like, here's what's up. Here's what's going on in this fucking place. And so it gets national attention and outrage. And there ends up being like a grand jury that wants to meet with her and go over the things that were in her stories. Mm-hmm. So she has the grand jury show up. She's part of a trial to go over what she saw. And she was worried, I think the jury is probably all men back then.
She was worried? Really?
Well, she was worried.
Even after seeing all that fucking shit?
I mean, she doesn't know how any of this is going to be received, right? Yeah. She's a woman journalist, which is not normal, right? So, like, who's going to take me seriously? Let's see. So the grand jury wants to go to the asylum and inspect based on all the things that she wrote. So she goes and the jurors, right, they visit the kitchen. And the kitchen is...
Do they know that they're coming to visit?
So they were tipped off like a week or so ahead of time. They were tipped off. So when they show up, the kitchen is spotless. There's tubs of salt oddly right in the way of right when you walk in, so you absolutely can see it, right? They walk into the bathroom area where she's like getting bathed, where they were like dumping tons of salt. And all of a sudden there's new basins, new bathtubs, like everything that she reported on was basically completely changed. The beds were new. She had to complain that the beds were so awful, like you couldn't even there was, and the blankets she had already said were like short. There was new blankets, there was new beds, there was salt, and their food was better. And actually, when she had talked to another person that was there, the woman had said immediately after she left, things started to improve. But immediately after she left,
because she found out that
she released this information, right? So this grand jury's walking around, and she's like, nobody's going to believe me because everything I said is not what they're seeing.
Yeah.
And all of the people that she had reported on, the French woman and the German woman and all of these people that she was like, here are these people that were totally sane that should not have been here. They were nowhere to be found. So either the asylum said, oh, their family picked them up, or they were transferred, or we don't know what you're talking about. So like it was super sus, right? And so she was really worried that like people weren't going to believe her. Transferred to another island. They denied all knowledge of one of the Mexican women that she had spoke of. One of the people were discharged, and just they had a reason for all of the things, and everything that was exposed was pretty much fixed. However, they did say that some of the nurses had admitted that the nurses and the doctors and everybody had all talked before they showed up so they could kind of get their stories straight. And there were still some that maybe weren't brushed up and made some pretty cruel comments that backfired on them, right? So, and it says the French woman, Josephine, she was a super healthy, like she got over her sickness. They said was now dying of paralysis and could not see her. And this is like, I'm not even kidding you, like 15 days after she leaves. So like these people go from, like, it's a dramatic change in just 2 weeks. Like, so, again, like she's worried, oh, these people aren't going to, this grand jury's not going to believe me. Yeah, she went with them. She took these people, this grand jury, on the tour, basically.
Oh my God.
And so, yeah, she was like, I hardly, she said, this is a quote, I hardly expected the grand jury to sustain me after they saw everything different from what it had been while I was there. Yet they did. And their report to the court advises all the changes made that I had proposed. I have one consolation for my work on the strength of my story. The Committee of Appropriation provides $1 million, more than ever was given before, the benefit of the insane. And so basically the grand jury did believe in her. They did trust that these changes are made, and they ended up giving this insane asylum $1 million more to help provide for the people that are stuck there, to help their quality of living. And
that's so amazing. And did they fire all the stupid nurses?
You'd think, right? I guess like a decade later when they checked back, it basically had like fallen apart again.
Are you serious?
It ended up closing though after that, but yeah, like after it kind of lost spotlight, it like,
wow, but that's amazing that her doing what she did,
yeah,
changed the environment for them.
Well, that was the thing, is like
a little bit.
They were getting money anyways, but where was the money going, right? So it wasn't going to the food because the food was moldy and gross. So like there was obviously corruption there and things like that. And so, but you step out of the spotlight, and then with them not firing all of those people, it's the corruption is going to start again,
Yeah.
So another thing that I thought was really cool, because after this, right, so Nelly becomes such a star after this whole thing, right? So everybody is just like nationwide, probably worldwide, people are like, oh my God, this fucking chick goes into this insane asylum. It's 1889 or some shit right now. Like, wow, right? So it starts a trend across the country, and this is what made me want to report. This is what made me want, now I think I'm a reporter. This is what made me want to report on this story. Nelly Bly coming to you. No, but this is what made me go like, I want to do this. So it starts this trend across the country where publishers start hiring stunt girls. And they basically take on their own socially conscious undercover assignments.
Wow.
So these women go and they put themselves in situations and they report on anything from the importance of ambulances, the response of ambulances to women and women injuries, to abortion access and care and things like that. Like, there were even Nelly even went to do her own more. She did like single mom stuff to like help stop the there was like a child trafficking ring. It wasn't like sex trafficking, but it was like stealing of children to like sell,
kidnapping. Pretty
much. Like I think I have it. I think I have notes in here on it.
Dang.
But like, so some of these stunt women have literally led to some of the meaningful reforms that women needed, and this is in the 1800s. So like, these women were a part of changing history for women. I mean, obviously it was a slow roll, but you know, this Nelly Bly. Oh, so I forgot to say that Elizabeth was her born name. And then she went under the pen name of the orphan girl. But then people had said, you know what? We think you should be called this or that. And so she ended up adopting Nelly Bly. So that's where Nelly Bly comes in. So that is her pen name. That it was what made her super famous. But yeah, she posed as a chorus girl, to a domestic worker, to an unwed mother, to expose the baby buying trade.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like so crazy. And
that even existed back then? Baby buying?
Yeah.
Was it for like moms that couldn't have a baby?
Probably
or something?
The wealthy that want to
just
take advantage of the poor, you know. I don't know.
Because I remember reading some history articles about in the Great Depression where people couldn't afford to pay, like, feed their children, so they were trying to sell them. Probably.
But
yeah, that was a real thing because
and then
they were
that
so
happened
poor.
also in China. I think like there were so many people, they had like a limit. You can only have like 2 kids or something like that. And so because men were the only ones that could produce money, if they had a daughter, they would find a way to get rid of it. And
I also remember hearing that they would just leave children in weird spots because they could only have male children.
Because that's how the system was designed.
Where they would just abandon children.
So basically, she helped pave this way, right? And started a whole trend that changed history and politics for women. And, you know, that isn't even what made her the most famous. So what made her the most famous was there was Phileas Fogg. I think I'm saying that correctly. I don't know, though. But he did the whole around the world in less than 80 days.
Really?
It's like he wrote a book on it, like Around the World in 80 Days. She was like, I'm gonna beat that. It's like 15 years earlier that he wrote the book, but she's like, I'm gonna beat this. And she ends up actually beating it by a week.
No way.
And there were so many people that were so invested in her beating that ended up making her the most famous woman in the world at the time.
How do I not hear about this chick?
I know, right? I know, right?
That's shit they should teach in school.
Yeah, like here's this fucking bad bitch that like did all this fucking cool shit. And it was totally beyond her time. Like she's basically saying like, excuse me, fuck that. And like that's
Dude, she's such a rebel.
Yeah.
In like a good
She's
way.
a Jezebel. Got you.
She's my ancestor.
She writes forever and she does all these really cool things. And when she's 30, she marries a 70-year-old millionaire.
Wow.
Manufacturer and businessman named Robert Seaman.
No. No way.
So she becomes Elizabeth Seaman. The things that we will do for a millionaire.
Way.
Yeah. But she becomes involved in his companies and helps things. And so like everybody's kind of like, oh, scandal. She's 30, he's 70. But like honestly, she was so well cultured beyond her age that like he might have been the only one that was like, you know what? Be you. You be you. And I love you. And like, I don't know if you like some of our like, I mean, I get it was like back in the day, it was probably like 70-year-old, probably looked like they were 200. But like some of the 70-year-old actors that we know that like are a part of like 2026, like pretty hot, man.
Like who?
Like
who's your hot favorite?
Harrison Ford.
Okay.
I don't know. George Clooney. How old is he?
He looks pretty good.
I don't know how old he is, but like he's older than me and like Major Babe. Okay.
I know guys.
Brad Pitt.
Guys always look.
Brad Pitt's at least in his 60s.
He's so.
You know.
Yeah. I know guys always look better when they get old.
And so we're not going to judge her for that because she did
doesn't seem like she cared about money. So she married him obviously
exactly.
for other reasons.
She had a drive. She had a drive that was specific. And there was a certain type of man that needed to be with her.
And he was probably, I mean, he probably didn't just make $1 million from doing nothing. He probably worked his ass off. And
yeah. He's not, 100%. And he probably respected her and let her be her free self. And that was probably really hard to find back then. And so, like, I don't judge at all. Her husband, I think they're married for about 10 years, dies. And he leaves all these companies to her, and she's like she's not super company running savvy, right? So I don't really know what happened to the companies, but she decides she's going to go back into journalism. So she decides, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to, what was it? World War One, and I'm going to report from the fucking trenches in World War One. No big deal. Hey, what are you gonna do this weekend? Oh, I'm gonna go to war and report on. As a woman back then, it's fucking nuts.
Wait, so not to backtrack, but
yeah.
So Mr. Seaman she didn't get any children. She didn't have any children.
No. Seaman was seamanless.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it was seamanless, but
okay. So she got bored of.
No, he died.
Company. Well, yeah. So he died, and she needed to go back to her passion.
It was her passion, and also like she didn't really know anything about running these large corporations, right? So I don't know what she did with them, handed them off or whatever else, but she decided, I'm gonna go to World War One, and that which was, hey, no big deal. Just a woman going to war. So in World War One, early 1900s. We can't even vote yet, motherfuckers.
So did she pretend she was a guy?
No,
Can you be in the army?
She's just Nelly fucking Bly at this point.
But back then, can you like be in war if you're a girl?
I don't know. No. Well, I don't actually know. There might have been like parts that you were allowed to do,
or
like nurses and things. But I think that she went to just be a reporter. But she ends up using her, her
I thought she was
fame.
doing an undercover thing.
No, it wasn't undercover. No.
Okay.
She ends up using her fame to help find homes for orphan children. She does a lot with the women's suffrage movement in 1920s, and she even like gets Susan B. Anthony to talk to her more than she'll talk to anybody else. It was really amazing what she did. But in 1922, at just 57 years old, she dies of pneumonia.
Really? Oh, man.
But, so this is super young, right? But she is considered one of the pioneering investigative journalists and early feminist icon for America.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things that she did were like branched out to make all these different reforms for women and changes for women because of that stunt journalism. And just, I mean, even her like first article for the Pittsburgh Dispatch was, it demanded women and girls be given more opportunities to thrive in American society because she experienced her mom, you know, her dad dying and then her mom not being able to provide. And she's like, this is society is not set up for this situation. Women need to be able to provide for themselves too.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Dude, so that's fucking Nelly fucking Bly.
That was so cool.
Bitches.
That was really amazing. Thank you.
Mrs. Seaman.
Mrs. Seaman.
So, how's your... Oh, let's see your...
I showed the camera a bit.
That is so cool. You did
like
so
it?
good.
I put so many beads on it.
Yes.
And then I tried to make the key.
That is going to feel
pointer.
so good in your butthole. The anal beads on that
Oh, yeah.
wand.
First, let's rip your butthole open.
No, it doesn't rip it open. It slides and you just spit on it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lube on there, and then it goes through the pink crystal.
And the crystal's gonna it's gonna energize your butthole.
Yes.
It's gonna soak in and some love, right? It's pink crystal, so there's symbol of love.
Some magical soothing opening.
That one is the one that's gonna hurt coming out though. This little wing thing here.
Well, but after the key and the crystal, it'll be like loosey goosey.
No, I'm talking when you're coming out.
Oh, when you're coming out.
Yeah, that wing is gonna flare up.
Yeah, it's like flopping.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's some fucking 7 shit right there.
I'm gonna use this shit.
I'm
gonna
stay
be
the
driving. I'm gonna keep it in my car. So instead of having road rage, I'm just gonna point this at people.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Be like, you motherfucker.
Expelliarmus. I know that I only know the one spell. I know more. I just can't remember any of them.
Well, I believe in making your own.
Bitch Amos. Fuck you, Amos.
Curse you, motherfucker. Or whatever, I don't know.
Fuck your mamas.
Whatever is in the moment.
It's gonna be. I should call ICP, Insane Clown Posse, and ask them if they want to write me a song.
I'm so confused. What is ICP Clown Mafis? What the hell are you talking about?
Insane Clown Posse. It's a band.
Oh, okay, band.
Okay, ICP for short.
Oh.
And they sing one of my favorite songs. It's like, fuck your mom. Fuck your mom's mama. Fuck
Wow.
the Beastie Boys and the Donut Llama.
That sounds like a great
Yeah, it's like, fuck you. Fuck this. Fuck that. And I love it. And it's a song. It's a song I started listening when I was young.
You sit there and go, fuck your mama.
Yes. I do. I can sing the entire song. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And so I'm gonna call them and I'm gonna say, hey, juggalos, did you want to write a song that is some middle-aged women spells against men?
Fuck your milfs.
No.
Fuck those bitches.
Fuck these milfs. Give us money.
Fuck the boss bitches.
Fuck your broke bank and your cheap car. I don't know.
Dude, I really think you should call them.
I might.
We only have one life to live. You gotta do shit like that.
ICP, I'm coming for you.
What do you got to lose? They'll just ignore you? Or...
Althea has no idea who you are. You could show up with makeup or without, and she would just be like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm Althea.
I know. I grew up Christian. I only listened to Amy Grant and some other...
Amy Grant?
Yeah, Amy Grant.
I don't even know who that is.
It's a Christian singer.
A Christian singer?
Some, like, Petro band. It was, like, a heavy metal. But
Petro?
But it was, like, Christian.
Is that like when
I could be totally wrong.
When wood is like really old and it's like petrified wood?
Yes, kind of.
So does that mean that
they're
Petro
like
music is like it's like really, really old to the point where like it's kind of hard? or something.
I
like how we found a word that neither of us knows.
If Schmeyen was a Christian, I could picture him listening to it.
Schmeyen. Google.
I'm probably saying it wrong. This is when I was like 11
Google
years old.
Petrified Rock.
Petra. No, that's the name
Petra.
of the band. Petra. But
the band. Totally it's a band name.
Yeah, it's a band name.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was a type of music.
No.
Okay.
No, it's just
band music could be like butthole surfers. It doesn't mean
dude.
anything.
They just like try to act like they're heavy metal, but they're like singing Christian lyrics.
Oh yeah, okay. Like there's actually some Christian bands that I don't hate a few of their songs.
Yeah, I used to go to some live bands.
Unstoppable. Fuck. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Skillet. Invincible. Honestly, like that song I think motivates me to things because I don't associate it to him talking about God.
Okay.
Like, I'm made of fire. Like, I'm a fucking badass. Here I am. I'm fucking invincible. Earthquake. I'm made of fire. Like, especially when I'm lifting heavy. I'm like, I'm made of fire. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the motivational song, that's good for motivation. Like, I used to listen to Christian music only if it had passion.
I don't listen to Christian music unless it somehow I didn't know it was Christian music.
But is it like on the regular radio? How do you end up hearing it?
Yeah, it just came across on my Spotify one time because it was
How dare they? They need to be on their own channel.
How dare they? Well, it wasn't like, you need to pick up the Bible and you gotta read it to lift heavy. It was like...
I know, that's true.
It didn't say anything about God.
When I used to be a Christian, I'd like hear Christian songs on the regular radio. And they would call themselves like Christians, but they wouldn't label themselves that so that they could be on the regular radio.
Yeah. Yeah, like... Such a rise to Zion. Who sings that? POD. Such a rise to Zion. They were like a Christian band too, but they were really big.
I went and watched them live at the churches before they became famous. I used to go to them.
Such a rise to Zion.
I remember one time
people right on.
People got so obsessed with them that one time, like, I think it was POD. Some chick like flashed her titties to them, and they closed their eyes and they turned everything off.
Dorks.
They literally were like, "I'm a good Christian man." I closed their eyes and they turned all the electrical off. Just enjoy the tits, dude.
Well, yeah, but
who cares? Oh, that's hilarious.
Well, I didn't get to make anything because I was so excited about Nelly Bly. But
that's the thing. Like when we're the one doing the topic, I don't think I ever get anything done when it's my turn to talk. Like
I think it's fair. I think
at the same time.
And I kind of didn't expect that I was going to. I thought maybe I could pull it off both, but I did get a little too excited. However,
that was a really amazing topic. I really enjoyed that.
I'm so glad. All right. So that was Nelly Bly in a little nutshell, right? So I read her book, 10 Days in the Madhouse. It's a super short read. I actually just listened to it on Spotify, and I put it at like 1.5 speed. And so it actually was like super fast, but it was really cool to hear her like firsthand experience with all of the people that she met. She met a lot more people than I obviously went over. Mm-hmm. So I recommend people looking into it. All right, so yeah, that was it. So how was your week?
My week was usual busy. It's always busy, but
you said you made some extra money? Lady of the night?
Yeah, I just I was able to get some small jobs, but high paying jobs with Instacart because I really just want to focus on like working less so that I can focus more on my book and focus on like my art, my crafting. So, and then I just like, I really enjoyed my time with my kids this last week because it was, I don't know. I mean, they're still sassy and rude, but like, I feel
That's
like
kids.
Yeah. But I feel like I've gotten better at learning my lesson on how to have like
Sassy, rude kids and still love them.
yeah. And just be like, I'm okay with you hating me. Like I was talking to my friend like the week before and she's like, you have to just get to a point where you're okay with your kids hating you.
Yeah, because they don't actually
hate
you.
But you know what I mean? Like,
But yeah, you have
like
to be...
they act like they hate you because they're trying to push boundaries or whatever. So they say the most awful, hideous shit to you.
And the reason why it hurts so much is because sometimes we think those things about ourselves too. And so when they say it, it hits like a core wound. But if we can remind ourselves...
Like I'm a bad mother.
Right. And like, honestly, like I went through with Sam for a long time as if she ever said anything, I would think like, oh my God, I do think I'm a bad mom. And so she said it, so it must be true. And if baby daddy said it, then it must be true. And it took me a long time to realize that like, I am dropping earrings. I'm trying so hard. I didn't even do a damn thing and that earring fell out. It was like, let me remind you. I have done my damnedest to be a good mom. I have gone to school to make sure I could get a good job. I have made sacrifices. And am I a perfect mom? Fuck no. I have made some mistakes and I've been like, shit.
Yeah.
That was not the best move. But I've always talked to my daughter about it.
Don't make good moves.
Well,
it's
yeah.
fucking hard being a mom.
But it's a human thing. And sometimes children grow up forgetting that their parents are human.
Yeah.
And they think that they're supposed to be this flawless person. And I started Sam off right from a young age being like, I'm sorry I did that. I shouldn't have done that. That wasn't the right move. To show her that
like you can, like we're human.
We're human.
When you apologize to your children for something you know you did wrong, instead of having pride about it and not, but that's I think the part that made my week hard is because like I think I'm about to start my period, so I get like extra emotional, and the whole thing with my daughter, like I literally cried for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Is because how can my own daughter just like, because I'm not a perfect human and I've tried to mend things with her, but she can just decide I don't want to talk to you anymore because of the impression that I have on you. Like, it's still not a good enough reason to just totally ghost your mother. And like every time I get extra emotional during the month, I just cry for a few days about my children, because I mean they can just be like, well, I don't like how you do this, so I'm gonna go to dad's house, you know. So well, that's really hard for me, you know.
And that's hard for anybody. It's hard to hear that from anybody, but you need to understand that you're definitely not alone. Teenagers treating, especially teenage daughters, treating their mom this way, this is not a new thing. This is an age-old tale.
No, I know that it's not. It's just, it's still painful as hell.
I know it's painful, but what I meant is just that it's not you. It's not you at all. It's just the dynamic.
Yeah.
You know?
Where they can be like, yeah, no, I agree. But like, I'm just like, I try not to get angry at my daughters for abandoning me, you know, because I know that they're teenagers and they're not fully developed, and they don't have any grace.
It's not
for my humanness.
It's not in their realm to abandon you. That's kind of projecting your feelings of abandonment onto them. They're not at this age abandoning
Yeah,
you.
but what did I do to deserve for my children just to be like, okay, fuck you, Mom. I'm not even gonna talk to you anymore. I'm just gonna go to my dad's house.
Well, I would love for anybody that watches the show actually to answer that. What did you do to deserve for your teenager to be a piece of shit to you? Because I promise you that what you will get to hear is that the answer is nothing.
No, see, I know that, but it's still hard for me to accept the fact that...
Well, I just meant the word abandoning is a really specific word.
Okay, well, maybe I shouldn't say abandon, but it's just the pain of the fact that I don't deserve to be treated the way I'm treated from my children. I do not deserve it.
Yeah.
I am not projecting. I'm not I'm not saying that like I literally do not deserve this treatment from my children.
No. None of us do.
And it's fucked up. So like I think at first I was like devastated and I was like chasing him like that, please, whatever you want. Like I can't handle the pain of my child. Like what really bothered me,
what maybe might have refueled their right. You didn't want the pain, and so you were like, I'll let you do what you want. And then when you started to have boundaries, they're like, oh.
Well, definitely for my older child because she was just like a diva, a nightmare. Like she's still horrible, like constantly expecting all this stuff. And then as soon as I started having boundaries, I'm like, why do I have to treat you like you're some princess and get you these specific things at the grocery store and then get treated like shit because I didn't get you the specific ripe avocado, organic, certain brand, and I get scolded for that. Like, who do you think I am? So when I started having boundaries with that, she just like couldn't handle it. But I mean, then they have their father in the background feeding on everything because child support just got dropped more than half of what I normally get.
Yeah. Because
of them living with him.
Yeah.
So I know he's behind it all, but there's a whole lot of shit with that. But I basically spent the beginning of my week just fucking bawling for a couple days because then I think about her and then like I had to deal with my other children that were difficult,
I just want you to remember that, like, that's what I'm trying to say when I say those things. It's just that, like, the teenage daughter angry dynamic, like, what I have with my daughter is a little bit different than what's normal. What I had with my mom is what you have with your daughter. I was very much... But I didn't have a dad to go to, but I was you couldn't
just be like, okay, you called me a bitch, so I'm going to go live with dad now.
I couldn't use that as an excuse, but I could use everything else in my power. I was a really mean and really bad and physically bad teenager. And so, like, when I say the things that I'm saying is it's like, you're not doing anything that's unusual or deserving. And what sucks is I think that, like, also because you're going through this with your ex and the struggles that you have with your ex.
Well, he's a covert narcissist, so it's
right. But you're also experiencing normal.
Doggy, don't knock the light over.
Not the light. You're also experiencing normal teenager at the same time as experiencing a narcissistic ex. So it's hard to determine what is just a normal piece of shit teenager versus one that's influenced by a narcissist, right? Like, try to remember that teenagers are pieces of shit without narcissist influence.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
And like,
they are. They're awful.
Our job is just to be like, no, of course we don't deserve it. But we have to be like, okay, that's when I had my therapist help me be like, when do I flex this rule or that rule? But it's not you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And
thank you for saying that. Because that is part of what I struggle with. I'm like, what did I do wrong? Well, I'm getting better at like realizing it's not me. I'm just getting over the pain of like, I don't deserve this shit.
You don't.
I don't deserve this. I was a good mom.
Your teenager is not your ex.
I don't deserve to be ghosted.
Either. Your teenager is not your ex.
Yeah.
Influenced? Obviously, there's a dad there. There's some, whatever. But like, sometimes when we go through something, we can then be triggered by our children because our children mimic that exact behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, well, also, this is Rusty. He's like 200 years old. And this is Schmayan's little dog.
He has a cool hoodie.
I bought him a sweatshirt.
Oh, you?
Yeah.
So
wait,
funny.
let me see if he'll like stand. Let me see.
You didn't make it?
No, I didn't make it.
In your bathtub?
Look at it. How you like that? Like that?
You like my magic
Look
wand?
how cool you look in that sweatshirt. God, you're fucking cool, Rusty. You're welcome. Okay. Anyways.
Your other dog's jealous.
Yeah. Freya is not a fan. Anyways. He'll be okay. I had a couple of interesting weekends.
Oh my God, I want to hear it.
Oh my God. So, I had my birthday, which is super fun.
Oh, well.
Right?
Yeah, I was.
The big 40-something. Right? And so that was fun. I'm so happy that you came, and that was a great weekend.
I want to know how it ended, because I left in the middle of bar hopping.
No, we went to Speakeasy, went to another bar, did some karaoke, and then everybody left. Then we went to Ames J's, and he has karaoke there, so we did some karaoke over there, and then I fell asleep on the couch, and then we Ubered home. But then the next weekend, right? So I'm sad. I spent a lot of great time with Sam on my birthday weekend. I was like, I spent more time with her that weekend than I did. She might want you to. You can hold her. You can hold her.
Okay.
Give her some love.
Okay, but
right.
She's really just jealous.
So then the next weekend, our last weekend, Sam gives me a call, and she's like, or she's gonna give me a call. She texts me, Mom, it's Saturday morning. Mom, I'm in San Diego. I'm covered in blood.
Shut up.
And I was like,
does she not know that you
what
don't
the
say
fuck
that?
does that mean? Are you okay? And she's like, I broke a nail, but it looks like I murdered somebody, and I'm gonna go get some food, so I'm gonna be away from my phone. I'm on my MacBook. And I'm like,
what the fuck?
What the hell?
This was a text?
Yeah. So I know she's in San Diego. I see that her MacBook is in Mission Beach. I'm like, okay. So I go on the iPhone, follow my or whatever, find my, and I find her phone. I shut it off and I put it on like lost mode. I send it a message and then I make it make a noise. So whoever had it then calls me or then answers and is like, I have it. And I was like, put this phone. I think they stole it. But because I made all the ruckus, they were like, oh. So I was like, take it to the nearest 7-Eleven and tell them that you found this phone. And they were like, okay, I'll take it to this 7-Eleven. I was like, cool. I'm on my way right now. So they take it to that 7-Eleven, and the 7-Eleven calls me. Oh, you have this? Yep. That's my phone. I'm on my way. Because Sam is still not at her phone because she was at her MacBook, and then she went to go get food. So she's not at a place where she can message me. So I have no idea where she is to get food or whatever. So I go to the phone's in PB. I go to PB. I get the phone. And I follow the directions to her MacBook because I have the Find My. So I'm Find My to her MacBook. So she's at the Dana. So I'm walking around the Dana looking for the MacBook for the iPhone that I have that's hers to match up with the MacBook that's hers. And I finally find the location, but I don't know, like, it's to give you a general. I don't know which room it is or if it's a second story room or whatever. And then all of a sudden, there's these two girls that come walking because they got out of a car because they came back from eating. They come back. And I was like, Sam. And she was like, oh, my God, Mom. And she ran up to me and she had like tears in her eyes. And she's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, pulled out her phone. And she's like, oh my God, my phone. And she just cried.
Oh.
And I was like, oh. I was like, yeah, I just used my Find My, but then I couldn't reach you. And I didn't really know what was yours, but it shows that like I'm right where the MacBook is. And so I was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. So I just wanted to make sure that you got your phone and, you know, you need anything. Is it you were covered in blood? But she did tell me so she does her own fake nails now. And she ripped one off and she ripped the whole thing off.
Oh,
so she was covered in blood,
God.
her clothes. Then she later sends me a video of like right after it happened and she's drunk and in the video she's like, it's okay, like I don't even know how it happened and I'm covered in blood, guys, but like I'm okay. And I sent it to my best friend Jackie, and my best friend Jackie's like, she's just like you when you're drunk. It was pretty funny. But aside from that, you know, tough week at work. Still on the struggle bus there, but
is it getting any better, or is it
I mean, I don't know. I had a meeting with my boss, and it was...
Oh, wait. Did you have, like, something you had to do?
Yeah, I had to brief on Monday. I had to do a meeting on Monday, but, you know, I did it on Monday, and apparently I did it wrong, and he was very open about it. And what happened was we had a meeting on Wednesday, and we kind of cleared it up, because... what I learned was that he's above. He doesn't really know what we do in the weeds. And so he was expecting something that wasn't going to happen. He was expecting something that was unrealistic because he didn't know actually how it all worked. And he was expecting something from me that was because he didn't fully understand what was going on.
That sounds like from the very beginning.
Yeah, but we did get some of that cleared up. So he was like, can you show me your screen? Show me what you're working on. So I just showed my screen. I showed what I was working on. And it showed him that I am busting my ass. I'm just doing things that he doesn't understand because he's not in the weeds like we are.
Oh.
So I did give him a little bit of that.
Well, that's kind of good that you get experience.
But at the same time, like, I'm just not, this team, they don't feel like they have everybody's back. Like, the last team I worked on, like, we all made sure that none of us looked bad. We all stuck up for each other. And it's just, that's not what's happening right now. And so it makes it tough to go from such a great team to a team that's still figuring itself out. You know? What? You're a little tired, Rusty? You're a little tired, Rusty. You're a little tired, but you're clean. Well,
okay,
I don't
ready
have
to
any
be
more.
done?
Yeah, we're done. And look at our empty vessels.
Cheers, bitch.
Cheers, dick bitch.
And thank you all that watch us and make comments and
comment more. Tell us what you think. Tell
me
us
happy.
what you want to see. I don't know. I don't care.
I want more comments, even if they're negative.
Yeah.
Because I love haters.
I'm just going to go to bed.
All right.